through founding director, Thelma Cover, have made their allotment of 10 acres of land available to IVPT, and that is in the Innswood
Bernard Lodge area.
Bernard Lodge area. So the school has that opportunity to further add to the suite of agricultural courses and enterprises, because the model embraces enterprise for sustainability of the school. Yes. So we have a vision for here that by over the next 2 years we would have expanded the greenhouse to in tune of 8 to 10,000 square feet, to include packaging facilities and cold storage facilities. We actually had the opportunity now that we could commercialize this. There's a person who supplies the tourism trade that has markets. Their farm is in Hanover, and they have markets here in Kingston. And they basically said they could actually give us the markets here. However, we can't yield to that temptation right now. We just have to focus on the research and development in this first phase. Other phases, we will go to commercial. Because there needs to be a cadre of persons trained in the art and in the science to be able to sustain the operations. At commercial, you can't be trial and error. You've got to have it packed and know what to do.
Question: at what point do you expect to have your first batch of agri students?
In June.
In June.
In June.
What's the numbers like now already?
There are a number of queries we're hoping by mid to the end of June to have a trainer of trainers for persons with prior training, with a degree, or for hydroponics. With the NCT vet certification now, hydroponics is a level 3 certified course, and it has a prerequisite of a level 2. So you see the immediate problem that we face to attract participants in this program. However, our sponsor, Jalaway, is keen on providing training to people at the lower levels. So in the first instance, we will provide training at a lower level with IVPT Jalaway certification. But what that will be exposure training to the thing. Whilst we're collaborating with Hartrust, because we have spoken to the management of Hartrust, the CTI manager, and all of them about exploring, lowering the entry requirement for hydroponics. Because what it really says, if you look at it, it's actually saying that, you know, hydroponic, because level 3 in NCT vet is supervisor management, right? You're basically saying that the average guy can't do hydroponics. That's not where we want to go.
You always have scope for lower level workers, always.
We have problems with good, right? So yes, we are looking for startup in hydroponics by the 3rd or so weeks in June, but we are registering now for all our agricultural courses: beekeeping, crop production, protected agriculture, landscaping. What else? I think that those are what we are offering for June startup.
So that is a compact?
Yeah, those are unit modular from 12 weeks to 6 months. So we have crop production level 1. Crop production level 1, that is, I think that is 6 months. Then we've got general agriculture, that is about 9 months. Beekeeping, 6 months. They are part-time courses, however, so they are 2 to 3 evenings per week. The parish of St. Catherine, being one of the hottest parishes in Jamaica, it is not one of the best places for greenhouses. However, you are going to experience something inside that. The first tour we had Mr. Alvaranga, first Vice President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, a farmer, officer of the Rural Agriculture Development Authority, now retired. In the first group, he shared that when he was at RADA, they took 2 years to solve their greenhouse problem in Bagwak. the greenhouse was so hot it burned up every plant that they were trying to, and it was a nursery. It took 2 years for them to figure out what the problem was. So when he looked at this greenhouse, he complimented us, he commended us for what he observed. Because what happened in those greenhouses that he had to put in some huge fans to pull the heat out. We don't have to do that. They had antiviral mesh, which this is not antiviral mesh, but it is a unique mesh that produced the same result as the antiviral mesh. So what happened, the antiviral mesh, it is so tiny, the mesh is so tiny that it doesn't provide for the wind to blow through. Now you know hot air rises. So what was happening in that is that the top is plastic. It's sealed. So the hot air is locked up in there and no breeze now blow, so everything's scorched. Man, plant, everything was on fire. You notice we have a vent. But we also, if you notice that there's a different direction with this plus with the chicken house. Right? This is the opposite orientation. This allows for the wind to blow across, while that allows for the wind to blow along. Right? These are the crops that we are starting out with. Yes, we have lettuce, the sweet pepper, pak choi, tomato, and cucumbers. And we are testing these. So at the moment we have the grow bag system, and we have the grow bag and this circulatory systems. So we have drip systems on this. We have drip system that keep the inert material, and the inert material can be perlite, it can be kaya, it can be coconut oats, it can be gravel. You know what I'm saying? But the drip system keeps around the community. Coconut was absolute. Because it's inert material. It's inert material. But it's the second batch of bamboo to take the joints out to use for these, to replace the PVC pipes. You know, we have to look at your expertise, you have to look at the time, because sometimes, you know, when you look at the cost benefit analysis, go to the store and buy.
When I was out, I was asking about this, maybe you guys in a construction after
right? Usually though, for schools, you get access to grant funding. Right. And you're able to set up ideal facilities. But in the real world, it's a different thing. A different thing. So the grow bag system, we will do the tomatoes because they will go 12, 15. So over the next couple of months, that's what we're going to do. Move the excess over there. But right now we're harvesting, and so this is the home of the spring fresh honey and bee products. So today, let's put it this way. To the ordinary person, this is a chicken house. But to us at the School of Agriculture, it's a training. So please step on in. We're going to violate some biosecurity measures right now because the unit here on Labor Day, they also gave us starter set for Labor Day, which was at 100 baby chicks in brooding right now, and in fact tomorrow. So after this launch and tour activity, we will go into the sanitation and prepare for the other 500 chicks that are coming in tomorrow morning. Right? So this make true to our philosophy of bottom-up development as a community transformation organization. What I mean is that this lab will help existing small farmers, subsistence farmers, backyard farmers to see and to learn best practices in poultry production. So they can see, they can learn, they can understand the importance of this piece of string. They can understand that it is not just put down the water on the ground, but it's how you systematically manage the growth of the birds with this piece of string. Similarly, your feeding, your sanitation. Because what is happening right now, and you would have heard on the radio calling, are them a grow, they should have been matured in 6 weeks, and at 10 weeks and they're not 3 pounds yet. Well, something, I can't say you didn't get bad chicken. It's not for me to say you did or you did not get. But likely, there is something that the producer, the grower, is doing wrong that they themselves probably don't even realize. And they may be growing chicken for 30 years. Right? But over time they have ignored this one thing. For instance, I was about to do something wrong when I was building this. Because you see, with the limited land space we have here, I had marked out how I was gonna get 2 chicken coop. You hear me? And I laid it out that way. Oh, when the field operations people and the Fed came, I said absolutely not. It has to be aligned with the rising and setting of the sun.
Are you kidding me?
So the sun rises in the east, it hits the house, and the birds move away from the dirt heat, come to this section. So it is cooler. It is cooler as the sun over the top of the roof, they scatter out. And when it's evening time and the sun reaches into the west, they move back this way. And they are kept cool. Now, if you have the house the opposite direction, what you have, the heat hitting it on the long side all day.
Wow.
Sunstroke, you lose a lot of birds, your mortality is high. When you build the house already, it's not that you can flip the house. So you're gonna try all kinds of stuff. You're gonna use lemonade in the water, you're gonna use ice, you're gonna use all sorts of stuff. Molasses. But you really have made an error that is difficult to fix.